Welcome back to my channel today. We explore the value of specific coins, the top 3 most valuable U.S. Kennedy half-dollar coins value in today's market. So let's get started. First up, the 1967 Kennedy half-dollar from the UK market. Though it's important to clarify that the Kennedy half-dollar is an American coin, not British. But you may be targeting UK viewers. Here's your script. Are you curious about the value of the 1967 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark in its current market condition? This video is for collectors, coin enthusiasts, and anyone holding on to these vintage US coins wondering if it holds any real value today, especially when it's not in pristine condition, but instead appears dirty or well circulated. Let's start by understanding a bit about the Kennedy half-dollar itself. The 1967 Kennedy half-dollar is part of a series of coins that began in 1964 following the tragic assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was introduced as a tribute to the late president and quickly became a popular item both for circulation and for collecting. Now, what makes the 1967 version particularly interesting is its composition. Unlike earlier coins from 1964, which were made of 90% silver, the 1967 Kennedy half-dollar contains only 40% silver. This change was part of a gradual phase-out of silver in U.S. coinage due to rising silver prices and coin hoarding in the mid-1960s. Another important detail is the absence of a mint mark on this coin, which is entirely normal for this year. During 1965 to 1967, the U.S. Mint decided not to include mint marks in order to discourage collecting and to keep more coins in circulation. So if your 1967 Kennedy half-dollar has no mint mark, that is completely expected and does not indicate a rare variety. Now let's talk about the condition you might have this coin in. If your Kennedy half-dollar from 1967 is dirty, tarnished, or shows signs of heavy wear, it falls under the category of circulated coins. While this affects the numismatic or collector value, it doesn't completely diminish its worth. The key factor here is the silver content. Since the coin contains 40% silver, it still holds intrinsic or melt value. This means even if it's not shiny or in mint condition, the silver within the coin gives it a baseline value based on current silver prices as of today. The spot price of silver fluctuates, but it generally hovers between $25 and $30 per ounce. A 1967 Kennedy half-dollar contains roughly 0.148 ounces of pure silver. Multiplying that by the current silver price gives you a melt value somewhere between $3 and $4.50 depending on the day's silver price. If the coin has more wear or is especially dirty, this doesn't change the amount of silver it contains, so the melt value remains. However, the coin is unlikely to attract any serious collector premiums unless it is in exceptional condition or part of a special mint set. For the average circulated 1967 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark that you might find in a drawer, a jar, or an old box in the attic, you can expect it to sell in the range of $3 to $5 if sold for its silver content. If you were to sell it to a coin dealer or a silver buyer, expect to receive a little less, since they also need to make a profit. If you're selling on online marketplaces like eBay, you might get closer to the higher end, especially if you sell multiple coins together. So in summary, while your 1967 Kennedy half-dollar without a mint mark might not make you rich, it still holds value today thanks to its silver content. Even in dirty or circulated condition, it has real worth and is sought after by people buying silver in bulk or those building complete collections of Kennedy half-dollars. If you have more than one of these coins, they can add up quickly, and selling them together can often bring better value than selling one at a time. It's always smart to check current silver prices and compare offers from different buyers before selling. Next up, we'll be taking an in-depth look at the 1972 Kennedy half-dollar, a coin that's widely collected, historically significant, and still found in circulation today. We'll explore the full story behind this coin, its design, historical, background, mint varieties, possible errors, and current market value. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced collector, this guide has everything you need to know. Let's begin with the background. The Kennedy half dollar was first issued in 1964, just a few months after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy. The coin was created as a tribute to the 35th President of the United States and replaced the Franklin half dollar. The design was completed quickly, within weeks, by U.S. Mint chief engraver Gilroy Roberts, obverse, and Frank Gasparo, reverse. The obverse features a left-facing bust of Kennedy, while the reverse showcases the presidential seal, a heraldic eagle holding an olive branch and arrows, with a circle of stars. By 1972, the Kennedy half dollar had already undergone several changes. The 1964 version was made of 90% silver, while the coins from 1965 to 1970 contained 40% silver. But starting in 1971, the coin's composition changed completely. The U.S. Mint removed all silver from circulating half dollars, switching to a copper-nickel-clad composition, which remains in use today. So, the 1972 Kennedy half dollar is a non-silver coin, made of an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a core of pure copper. In 1972, the Mint produced Kennedy half dollars at 3 locations: Philadelphia, no mint mark; Denver, with a D mint mark; San Francisco, with an S mint mark. For proof coins only. Here are the mintage figures for that year, 1972. Philadelphia, approximately 153.1 million 1972 D. Denver, about 141 million. 1972 S. San Francisco proof, around 3.2 million. These high mintage numbers mean that the 1972 Kennedy half dollar is very common in circulated condition. Most examples found in pocket change or coin rolls have heavy wear and are worth face value. 50 cents, unless they're in higher grades or have special features. Now let's talk about values. In circulated condition, both the 1972 and 1972 D half dollars are worth 50 cents to around $1. However, if you find a mint state coin, one that hasn't been used in circulation and still has its original luster, the value increases. Uncirculated. Examples graded MS-63 to MS-65 can be worth $2 to $10 depending on the coin's condition and eye appeal. Coins graded MS-66 or higher, particularly with strong luster and clean surfaces, can command $40 to $150 or more, especially for the 1972 D. The 1972 S proof coin was struck for collectors and was not intended for circulation. These coins were included in proof sets and are known for their mirror-like fields and frosted devices. A standard 1972 S proof half dollar is worth $4 to $10, depending on condition. If it has deep cameo contrast and is graded PR69 DCAM, it may be worth $20 to $50 or more. Now let's discuss something every collector loves: errors and varieties. There are a few known issues with the 1972 Kennedy half dollar that can increase its value significantly. One rare variety is the no FG coin. This refers to the missing initials FG for Frank Gasparo on the reverse, near the eagles. Tail feathers. This error happens when the die becomes worn or overpolished. While not extremely common, confirmed examples of 1972 no FG half dollars can be worth $100 to $300, especially in high grade. Next up, the 1985 Kennedy half dollar minted in Denver, also known as the 1985 D. This coin is part of the Kennedy half dollar series, which began in 1964 in honor of President John F. Kennedy following his tragic assassination. By 1985, the half dollar was no longer widely used in everyday commerce, but continued to be produced for collectors and limited circulation. The 1985 D. Kennedy half dollar was struck at the Denver Mint and carries the D Mint mark on the reverse, just below the olive branch. And above the letters of the word dollar, it is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition with an inner core of pure copper and an outer layer of copper and nickel. The coin weighs approximately 11.34 grams and measures 30.6 millimeters in diameter. On the obverse, we see the iconic left-facing portrait of President Kennedy, designed by Gilroy Roberts. The reverse displays the presidential seal with a heraldic eagle holding arrows and an olive branch designed by Frank Gasparo. Now let's talk about the value of the 1985 D. Kennedy half-dollar in extra fine condition, also known as XFA coin in XF grade. Shows light wear on the highest points of the design, but retains most of its details and luster. It's a step above. Very fine and just below about uncirculated, making it a desirable grade for both beginner and intermediate collectors. In today's coin market, the 1985 D. Kennedy half-dollar in extra fine condition typically holds a value of around $1 to $2. This price may seem modest, but it reflects both its relatively high mintage and the condition it's in. More than 15 million of these coins were struck in Denver in 1985, meaning it's not considered rare. However, coins with strong eye appeal, no damage, and clear details can fetch slightly higher prices, especially when sold in collector markets or through online auction platforms. It's important to note that the real value of any coin can be influenced by the demand among collectors, the quality of the strike, and whether the coin is certified or graded by a reputable company like PCGS or NGC. Coins that are slabbed and authenticated tend to bring in better prices due to increase. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you, and next time, happy collecting. D. Buyer confidence. For most collectors, the 1985 D. Kennedy half-dollar serves as a historical piece, a reminder of an important era in American history, and a part of a classic coin series that continues to attract interest worldwide. While it may not be worth a fortune in extra fine condition, it's still a meaningful and educational addition to any collection, especially for those building a complete set of Kennedy half-dollars by date and mint mark. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you. And next time, happy collecting.